Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing well. So a few years ago, I made a massive crosscut sled, and that crosscut sled has become a major game changer in my cabinet making and furniture building. A lot of people will ask, why don't I make my finished crosscuts with my miter saw? And the reason is, it's not always square. And I often experience blade deflection. And this is an issue that people have told me that they've had with the same saw. And in fact, it's bothering me so much, I may one day pull the trigger and get the Festool Capex. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep using my massive crosscut sled on the table saw. So first let me show you where I store it, because that's kind of the pain about this thing, is it's big and it's kind of heavy. First, I want to say that I don't have plans for this project, but I do have a build video, and I'll have a link to that in the description. And I'm going to give you all the measurements right now, including a few changes that I would make if I were to build it again, so you should have no problem figuring it out. If you do want the plans, they are on my Maker's Mob. This project, along with 8 furniture builds, and I'll have a link to my Maker's Mob as well. So let's take a close look at the sled. The fence here is made of 5/4 poplar. The main thing here is to get a nice straight piece. The backing is made with a piece of 5/4 poplar and 2 pieces of 4/4 poplar laminated together. I've painted it red as a reminder to keep my hand away from here, because this is the danger zone. The main base is Baltic birch plywood. You don't need to use Baltic birch plywood, but I would use a good furniture grade plywood, just 1/2-inch birch plywood, because you want it to be straight. You don't want it to have any warps. You want it to be a nice smooth surface. The back is 2 pieces of 4/4 poplar laminated together. Now let's get into some of the changes. The length of the sled is 5 feet. And I probably made that decision because Baltic birch plywood is usually sold in 5x5 foot sheets. So if I were to build this again, I probably would go 6 feet, because that just gives you a little bit more room to work with. You can set up a stop block out here. If you have a bigger shop, maybe you want to go 7 feet. It really is up to you. But I really like to have the ability to set up a stop block and make those multiple cuts. So I'm limited, unless I connect something to the back of the fence, which could be done. I could have a stop that screws on or somehow gets tightened on there, and I could make wider cross cuts. But initially, I think I would just go with a wider base or a longer base. This is the big one. The depth of cut, my maximum depth of cut is 20 3/4 of an inch. I would make this space, the space between the 2 fences here, I would make that 25 inches. And that's going to make it possible to make those cross cuts on things like kitchen cabinets. So that would be a major game changer. Once I built this crosscut sled, the thing that you have to think about is getting it square, and there's a bunch of tricks you can go on YouTube and find out. Some work better than others. I got pretty lucky with this one. I just kind of went for it. It turns out to be super square. I just can't get over how perfect this fence works. The other thing is, you're going to have to create some channels in your outfeed table so you can follow through with the cut. The bottom of the crosscut sled, I used a hardwood for the runners. This is maple, and a big part of the maintenance for this sled is to periodically wax the bottom. I wax the whole thing, including the runners, and I like to use butcher's wax, bowling alley wax. So like I said, it's a really, really simple project, and it's been a major game changer in my shop. So I hope that you'll build one. I hope that it works as good for you as it does for me. And if you do, go ahead and put it on Instagram and tag me in the post, and I'll re-tag you if you do that. And I guess that's it. Time to start working on another project. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. If you'd like to build this crosscut sled, click on the link in the description below, and that will bring you directly to the project video. And follow me on Instagram to see what I'm working on today.